To those of you out there who are attempting to manipulate Arcimoto stock with hit pieces in order to profit, you are barking up the wrong tree.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
And hit the bell. FUV released their quarterly earnings in the form of a webinar. There's some really good insight there for shareholders and for people thinking about buying the stock in terms of how the company's doing and what their plans are for the future. And the CEO responded directly to all this short business that's happening that seems to have been taking a toll on the stock.
The shorts have totally creamed the stock.
Demolishing poor little FUV. They're all hating.
Yeah, this stock took a real turn for the worse. I think it's under, well, it's definitely under $12. I'm not sure if it's 10.85, but 11.87 is, I think, where it closed. That could have been
after hours. The 10.85 could have been after hours.
You can see it broke the 200-day. This is not a legitimate line, I would say, but if it goes below around, I would say, let's say $10.60, we have a real problem. That means it's probably going to $8.
Wow, look at the RSI. Wow.
Well, also volume is not big here. It's really low. So they really, but it's still more people are selling than buying. Obviously, that's why a stock goes down, but volume is incredibly low. Like, look at the run up last time it had to $18. Look at this volume that came in, right? And if we look at just this short interest,
I was just going to say, yeah, what is the short interest on it? 22%.
It's 25% almost. This is I can't wait till this is a GameStop stock, a GME play right here.
Yeah, like Wall Street Bets get a hold of this one.
I hope this happens, because if they shorted 100%, it's going to $400. So
right.
It's not looking good. Let me put it this way: if it breaks below 1075. I think we have a good chance of going down to $8 where the last support was. This went from $1 basically to all the way here. So it's still up like 1,200%. So the thing is, look, can it return back to $5? Of course it can. But I think at some point, especially around $8, there's a lot of pressure to buy. And I think we'll see that play out. Worst case, at $8, it's gonna bounce real hard, probably to 12. In either case, let's find out why this is happening.
A recent short seller report by the ironically named Bonitas Research Company is chock full of falsehoods and misrepresentations, starting with the very first one. It alleges that the company has faked pre-orders in order to fake demand. This is laughably false. To be clear, Arcimoto has accumulated something getting near 5,000 net pre-orders. We consider our practice regarding pre-orders to be best in class for the industry. We have seen other companies go out there in the vehicle space, collect tens of thousands of email signups, and then claim that they had tens of thousands of pre-orders. We have not done that. We have seen companies build pre-order books based on non-binding letters of interest alone, collecting tens to hundreds of thousands of indications of interest. Arcimoto has not done that. To date, our pre-order numbers do not include at all any non-binding letters of interest, although we do reserve the right to go look for non-binding letters of interest from potential fleet customers as indications of market demand.
They actually have 4,700 pre-orders. That's a big thing. He did say about other companies, I don't know if you heard other news, but Lordstown, he actually mentions them, not naming them. Lordstown had all these pre-orders where someone just ordered thousands of vehicles, nothing down. It wasn't a real order at all.
Going back to our IPO, we have always characterized pre-orders as strong sales leads. When an individual customer cracks open the wallet, puts down $100, fully refundable at any time for any reason, we consider that a strong sales lead, not a booked sale, and we have never characterized them as such. The report goes on to allege that Arcimoto has deliberately hid our relationship with one of our key early investors, who also is our first franchisee for rentals in Key West. And again, this is a gross distortion. Arcimoto has been clear about our relationship with FOD Capital since our disclosure of their investment in Arcimoto in 2018. The idea that this franchise is a 2018 scheme to pump and dump in 2020, we think is utterly absurd. The report went on to make a grave accusation that Arcimoto has failed its obligation to report its recalls through NHTSA to its customers. Again, this is totally false. They made mention of one of our customers, Go-Kart Tours down in San Francisco, that they had contacted Go-Kart Tours and Go-Cars had said that we had not notified them of recalls. So I'm just going to quote what Nathan, the CEO of Go-Cars, said. I was never contacted, and as far as I'm aware, no one in the company has been contacted by anyone regarding recalls on any of our vehicles, certainly not anyone who has any relevant knowledge on the matter. Further, we would never share that kind of information with an unknown third party. We suspect this was a fabrication. We are in frequent communication with Arcimoto and have been notified of all recalls. We have pre-ordered 40 Arcimoto vehicles, and we have so far converted 2 of those pre-orders into final sales. Like many businesses in San Francisco, we were forced to close during the pandemic, and the timing wasn't ideal to move forward with the purchase of 38 new tourist rentals at one time. Arcimoto is a valuable partner, and we look forward to adding more FUVs to our fleet when the time is right.
Short sellers are saying someone at this company that pre-ordered vehicles said that they didn't contact them, that there was a problem with the vehicles. The CEO of that company said, no one is contacting us. And first of all, that's not our policy to go talk to these randos who are trying to hit us up about company information. And he's saying that that's not the case. We've bought 2 vehicles and we have 38 left in the queue to buy, but obviously COVID has slowed down this kind of their business. So they're not buying it right now, which totally makes sense anyway. He's making it clear that he's not a thief. This guy, I believe this guy. You know, that's why you have to listen. Actually, it's important to listen to the CEO of the company, the quarterly reports, because if you're just reading a Seeking Alpha article about a short seller, you're just terrified.
Well, also at the end of the day, you're not investing in an article in Seeking Alpha. You're investing in a company, and a company is run by a CEO. And because of the internet and Twitter and YouTube, you can get a really clear understanding of what they want to do.
We believe that this report and the other 5 short seller hit pieces that have come out about Arcimoto since our last earnings call are an effort to deliberately mislead investors, cause investor lack of confidence in Arcimoto stock, and depress Arcimoto stock price in order to profit. At this point, all we're really recommending is that our investors familiarize themselves with short and distort schemes. And to those of you out there who are attempting to manipulate Arcimoto stock with hit pieces in order to profit, we believe that you are barking up the wrong tree. That is one of the reasons why I am happy that we have a new merch item available in our merch store as of just yesterday.
Go Long Johns.
Our Go Long Johns, great for those cold, long runs and perfect for covering your shorts.
I think he's covered the short story as like complete BS. I'm confident he's telling me the truth. And he seems like a sincere dude, honestly, from everything I've read and heard of him.
He's got conviction in his voice. I believe what he's saying. He could be completely lying. I mean, the short sellers could be completely right. That's totally possible. Right. If that's true, this guy's doubled down so much, he'll be, they'll deport him. He's got
right. These guys are always smart enough to take advantage when the market's being hit.
Sentiment, yeah. Let's
hit it harder. Let's double up on the negativity, the FUD. And, a lot of people aren't doing this research that me, you, and the people watching this video, they basically invested, oh, this is an EV play. Oh, but now I hear they're a fraud. Let me get out.
You know what,
that's
though?
What's going on.
That's honestly the purpose of this channel, to be a sort of a cliff notes for these certain small cap stocks.
It's a small group. Even the people who watch these finance videos, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.
Like and subscribe and hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding. While we're on this topic, I do want to talk about this because the options market are a great indicator of what.
Oh, yes. Ooh, I did want to see this. Can you show me the options for like a year or 2 out? Forget about.
This is 2 years. This is 2 years. This is December 17th. This is as far out as I can go. What's interesting is to see the spread of open interest on all of these prices all the way up to 55. Yes, that does scream like there's people preparing for a short squeeze to happen some point. Look at what these options are for April 16th, the same options. Look at this. This is for April 16th. This is
penny.
For...
You're paying a penny.
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's not as many at $55, so people are way more bullish on it at the end of the year, $55 the strike price, but you have 487 at $15.
10 cents. Look at that, 10 cents. Look at that, 2060. So this is actually doable. Like if you wanted to take a real, I don't like these super short term options. If you go up to the calls that are like, let's say around $15, because honestly, it could pump to $15 Monday, Tuesday. You know what I mean?
It's not difficult to move it. It's so small.
Yeah. It's so speculative. First of all, any bit of news, like you said, will go over $15. The problem is the timeline. By May, I don't like that. By December, I like it.
Let's see. This is July, so this would be after earnings. This would be after the next set of earnings. We now have, wow, look at this, 5,000
over 30
options at 30 by June. So this is post earnings, and then post earnings.
That's a lot, actually.
Post earnings. Look at that. Yeah, post even this post earnings, there are more call options than puts.
The CEO in the call said they can produce I think up to 4 vehicles per day times 5 days, 20 vehicles a week times, let's assume 4 weeks only. That's 80 vehicles, right? Times, let's just do for a quarter. That's 240 vehicles they can get out in a quarter.
Right.
So 240 times 20,000, that's the average price of an Arcimoto right now. That's $4.8 million they're going to make possible if they actually do 4 vehicles per week for a quarter. 2020, the whole year they made 2 million. They doubled in 1 year to 2020. They're now at 2 million. If I am correct, this company is going to start making massive amounts of actual gross profit, not net. We're not talking about net here.
We'll multiply that by 4, and that is their theoretical maximum for the year.
Roughly 20
Right.
million. Look at that. From 2 million, forget about this. Let's say I'm wrong and I'm half wrong and they can't produce all those vehicles. Cut it in half. They're at 10 million. That's a 5x. That company grew 500% in 1 year. Even Mark Frohnmayer said they're going to sell around 50,000 vehicles, or at least they'll have the capacity to. So I'm saying, forget about 50,000 vehicles. Let's say 12,000 vehicles a year. They make $240 million, roughly speaking, for those vehicles. They're currently worth less than 500 million. If market cap, 424 million. So we can do 424 million divided by 240 million. We have a 1.7 price to sales. Let's give this guy even a 5 price to sales. So 240 million now. We can do, I could do the whole number here. 240 million times roughly 5. That means they should be worth at a 5 price to sales, $1.2 billion.
At $36, what was the market cap at $36? 36.78 divided by 11.87. The multiplier is 3.09.
Times 424 million. It's 1.3 billion. So 1.3 billion is what they ran up to. So let's say I'm being too pessimistic that they do succeed in some capacity and sell 25,000 vehicles a year times the $20,000. All of a sudden they're making $500,000, which is a price to sales to 1. So let's say they're at around a 5 price to sales. That means they're worth 2.5 billion. So now let's divide that to get the price. 25 divided by 424. 5.89 times the $11.87, we have a price of $70 if they can hit 25,000 vehicles. I mean, this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting this to be around $70 in a couple of years. Look at all of this activity around $8. Resistance, 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 breaks through. Like, so $8 is a good support that we can look if it actually goes that far down.
If it goes lower than that.
Their first step is let's build a factory that can sell these vehicles at scale, which is they want to sell 50,000 roughly a year starting. Once again, let's assume it sells 12,000 a year. Me and you as investors will do well, even if it's 12,000 a year until it scales further. But I'm not going to be as bullish as Mark. I'm going to be the rational guy.
Right.
$30 to $60. I'm sorry, $36 to $70 seems like a reasonable goal in the short term.